So we're talking about offerings and referring back to a biblical story, very well known, Adam and Eve, and how Cain and Abel both made offerings, and Cain's offering was not accepted, and Abel's was. So, so the lesson, though, I think comes in the response to Cain after the offerings were made. And if I could just summarize, God basically says, that sin lies at the door, and but then he finishes that thought with, but you can choose. You can choose to make things right. So apparently, Cain's heart was not right. Maybe he was making the offering with begrudgingly. Maybe he was resentful. Maybe he was not giving his very best. But the key message is that he could change. And so there's an American classic, East of Eden, which is kind of a modern remake of that origin family story. And there's this Hebrew word that's used when God is speaking to Cain, when he's saying that you can choose. And that Hebrew word is timshul. And I love the way that book portrays the power of our agency and the power of our ability to change. Ultimately, we're separate from the whole animal kingdom in our use of our gift of agency, right? We can choose and we can decide, if things didn't go well, can I course correct? If I feel like I was, made an offering, it wasn't accepted, can I shift? And so many of us, all of us, I think, in doTERRA have made offerings and felt like they weren't accepted. Whether we invited someone to a class, they didn't come, or they said no. We invited them to build a business, and they said no. Maybe we had a builder for a while, and maybe there was a falling out. Maybe they communicated to us in some terms that we weren't enough. Regardless of how we feel that experience of not enoughness, it all comes back to the same experience where, if we could put ourselves in Cain's shoes, the message I hear from that story is you can change. You do not have to be a victim to how you're feeling today, to how to what your offering was, or how well it turned out. You can change. So that's that's what I've been noodling on for the last couple weeks. I have lots of friends who are going through various things, and there's the temptation to go into bitterness. Just like God said, sin lies at the door. And we don't have to call it sin. We could call it just negative mindset lies at the door. It's always there, wanting to discourage us and keep us from moving forward. So anyways, it's been a great invitation for me to just keep on keeping on, despite all of the weeds that keep coming back, right? As Tiffany talks about. So we get to keep weeding the garden. All right, let's jump into some coaching. Go ahead and raise your hand, then we'll bring you on live, or you can just put your questions in the comments. What's coming up for you? They could be on this topic or any topic. I'm here to serve. Share the Zoom link to those on Facebook if they do want to come on live. Oh, all right. So go ahead and raise your hand if you want to come on live. All right, Ruth. Hi, Ruth.
Hey, good morning. Sorry, I don't even know how I look. I'm literally out here re weeding when you were talking about that. But
Oh, I love it.
anyway, um, I, the true principles of generosity and adding value and being and giving, and also the true principle of an exchange rate, a good, fair exchange of energy or money or whatnot. Just love to have some of your thoughts on um and I realize I still have different money blocks and different things. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to receive or know a fair or just exchange of money because I
Mhm.
love to give free samples and give free aroma touches and do the things to just love and serve. But I
Yeah.
realize sometimes um anyway, it just your thoughts on when the freebie should change to something different. And I really love the doTERRA model as far as loving and sharing and helping. Eventually, as people get an account and order or get on rewards, then that's already a system. I don't have to, that's not my thing to deal with anymore. But just
Mhm.
in general or in the meantime, or I know some people do a little fee for a spa night, and sometimes you just do a customer appreciation with no fee. Anyway, just your thoughts around that, including if you want to get into money mindset a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this question, Ruth, and I love your heart of serving. I think that's who doTERRA naturally attracts is servant-minded people like yourself. Um, so what's the boundary that we should create so that we can actually receive value back, right? Um, how can we make a healthy give and receive cycle? So um, I think um, I think a good rule of thumb is to always be giving, um, but also always be inviting. So whether you're, whether you're giving a free symphony of cells to people, there should always be an invitation, um, inviting them to try a new product, inviting them to maybe engage and serve some of their own circle, inviting them to maybe build a business. Um, the the beautiful thing about the way the universe is set up is we just have to focus on giving and inviting, and God takes care of the rest. And so if we are in that business, um, then my experience is it comes back to us. So if you've got a team member, and I know that Ruth, you've been super generous by offering, was it symphonies or aroma touches?
Aroma touch.
Aroma touch, sorry. Okay. So you've been very generous with with offering of um, the aroma touch. And so the thing that I would be careful of is what is a natural way for that value to flow back to you? Um, how can we um, how can we do it as a full give receive cycle? It's beautiful to give, but um, if you're if you're spending all your time giving aroma touches to people on other teams, um, then it's hard for that value to flow back to you. It's unnatural to ask, hey, do you have people that I can give an aroma touch to, um, with the intention that you could enroll those people? It gets pretty tricky, right? I mean, that's borderline cross line recruiting. So that's why that make sure that there are invitations in place for value to flow back to you. So um, that's why we love to serve our team, because it like you said, it happens organically in doTERRA. If we're pouring value into them and inviting, always inviting, right? I think the thing that separates the top leaders in doTERRA from everyone else is they've just invited more. They've invited more people to use, share, and build. And that's all there is to it. So I think another tip is um, when it starts to feel like the gift, um, like when you find yourself begrudging the gift, coming back to the Cain and Abel story, it seems like Abel just gave the gift freely and did it with faith, did it with love. And there was something in Cain's gift that was off. And so if we're giving so much that it's, disrupting family life, or that you're sacrificing your health, or there's just no way for value to flow back, um, then that's a good sign that that we need to repair that give receive cycle. So those are just a couple of my thoughts. I know that's pretty vague, but I love Karina's comment. Like, especially if it's someone outside your team, how would you feel about just charging for the aroma touch? A lot of people do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely an option. And since I'm not a licensed massage therapist, then of course there's still that thing to look at of
Sure.
what to charge. But yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
sure.
Karina.
Yeah, absolutely. Great
Yeah,
question.
thank
And
you.
then
And
sorry, go ahead.
that just a new way for me to look at love, share, invite with the full cycle of the invite. I really like how you shined a light on that portion.
Yeah, it's really, and it is a perfect opportunity for us to practice non-attachment, right? Um, we all know what it feels like when someone asks for something with attachment. But if we're always inviting without attachment, it just feels clean, and it flows, and that's the kind of energy that people respond to in kind. So yeah, great comment, Karina. She says, people that pay attention. So true. Love that. Cool, cool. Yeah, Karina says that she recently started a business where she now charges $60 for an aroma touch and $60 for a foot zone. It's hard at first, but money was just an exchange. So, yeah, love those thoughts.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Andy. Thanks, Karina. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Ruth.
Yep.
Okay, love those questions. Go ahead and raise your hand. Um, if we have other questions. People that pay attention. So true. Okay, one of the things that Ruth asked about was just mindset in general, kind of a healthy money mindset. So I want to ask each of you, what is your relationship with money? How do you feel when you think about money? How do you feel um, when the thought comes up of having money or spending money or asking someone to pay for something? What is your relationship with money? And if anybody wants to come on live, we could make this an actual conversation, or if you just want to have it be with yourself, that's great too. So many of us have read the books or listened to the podcasts or been to trainings about money mindset and abundance mindset. Most of us can rattle off the right things to say, but what really matters is how you feel. At the end of the day, emotions are the water that we swim in as humans. And if you feel unworthy of money, then that's exactly what you'll manifest. If you feel like money is, only evil people are wealthy, then that will manifest. If you feel like money is hard, or money means a certain thing about you, if you have a lot, then that's what will show up. And so I don't care as much about if you know the right answers. My a better question is, what comes up in your gut? What comes up in your chest when the topic of money comes up? When you think about, asking for money, receiving money. So, so how do we create a healthy relationship with money, and make money our ally instead of our enemy? How can we develop positive feelings and not just good ideas, right? Like, generally, how do we shift not just mindset, but heart set? I think is the real question here. So I see Andrea's raising her hand. So we'll see if she wants to come on and make this a conversation. So it's always better as a two-way conversation. Andrea, how are you? Oh, why can't I hear you? Looks like you're muted.
There. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. Thanks, Andy. And this money thing has really been like a quest for me. Coming from Germany with, like, say, my grandparents who lost all their money twice in inflation. Like, $1 million the next day was worth absolutely nothing. And they'd always told me about that growing up. So I had this distrust of money. Oh, it could be gone overnight. Better not. I remember when I was little deciding people feel so bad about it and losing it. Now, my clever solution was, if you don't have it in the first place, you can't lose it. And then,
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I finally realized that it came down to that. And then, over the course of the years, I never felt bad like that people with money were evil. Coming to your house would cure anybody of that. But debt has been a difficult thing for me with that. We have a mortgage, which we never used to have, and debt, connected to the business and this and that. And that still weighs on me. That's seriously connected with guilt for me. And in German, strangely enough, the word for debt and guilt is one word.
Oh my goodness.
No differentiation there. And so I've been working with that, and I forget where I got that. Somebody said, like a mortgage or debt is blessings that you have already received. And to look at it like that. And one thing that's helped me deal with that is, like this here, that we have in doTERRA.
I love that.
Free to give. And then I was able to put like a coin in there for the car paid off.
Oh, that's so cool.
You see, there's ways to go on this.
It's great.
But for me, I think my biggest struggle is the connection of money and guilt. And debt and guilt. And some of it too, I was raised with, journalist parents, and it was always like feeling guilty to have more than somebody else. Like, how do you have money and there are children starving here and there? Like this guilt of having more than others.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're super clear on what your parents' beliefs were or are. So let's try reframing those first in our mind, and then we'll move it to our heart. So what are some alternate beliefs that we could choose instead of debt is guilt, or it's bad to have more money than others? What are some alternate truths?
Oh, well, definitely having more money, you can give more.
Ah,
That has really helped my mindset in that you're able to bless people more when you have money. You're able to help out when you see somebody in need or situation. You're able to give to that instead of saying, "Oh, I can't help you," because that's a sad feeling for me. Empowering to have money, and in the respect of, yes, you can help other people, you can share it, you can pay for your kids' college and help them. So I mean, that is really, and this freedom and this financial freedom, that's really a wonderful, I mean, I've had glimpses of that here and there. We're not there yet. doTERRA has really been helping with that. And whenever I have this coming up, this guilt stuff, as an essential emotions coach, I really have worked with that to look at it and to process it and to release it. But it's not a one-time thing. It's like,
yeah, right.
the layers of the onion.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a kind of an over and over, more layers and more depth to it.
For sure. Yeah, the weeds come back, right?
The weeds come back.
Okay.
Helped me tremendously to just look at it and to say, is this how I want to feel? Is this how I want to be in the world? Is this what I want to pass on to my kids? Do I want them to feel this way?
Sure. Okay. So the way you're framing that, I'm feeling some should energy, right? Like if I'm doing this right, I should think right so I can pass that on to my kids. And so I just want to give you permission to shift that as well. Instead of I should, I can. So let's can I invite you to just close your eyes, and I'm just going to feed back to you in my own words some of the truths that I heard you say, and I just want you to tune in to how these land in your body. So the first one is Having more allows me to give more. Having more allows me to give more.
Yeah, it feels like a real opening here
Yeah,
and like a warmth.
beautiful. I love that.
Instead of this constricted, like, ooh.
Uh-huh. Right. Beautiful. Okay, with eyes still closed, the next one. Having more opens more doors. Opens options for children's school, college. Having more opens doors.
Yeah. That really resonated. Feels like it's not so heavy on my shoulders,
Yeah,
lighter.
right. Hmm. Okay, and the next one. As I improve my relationship with money, I get to inspire others, including my children, to heal their relationship with money.
Mm. Yeah, it feels like a more expansive feeling, like in my belly or around my belly button.
Beautiful. So you've just been on a 2 or 3 minute journey of creating actual chemistry in your body and rewiring circuits. And it didn't take a guru, it didn't take a book, it didn't take an expert. These were just things that you said. I was just feeding them back to you. And you created space to receive them, to channel them, to sit in them. So how much would it cost you to do that every day?
Nothing.
Nothing. And so you have this beautiful opportunity before you to be the chain breaker and feed the healing that I think you feel wants to happen.
Yes.
Your soul wants to be whole. And this is one of the steps. That's why you raised your hand today,
Mm-hmm.
because you're feeling called to heal this and take the next step into healing. And so my invitation to you would be to create space on the daily, even multiple times a day, to come back to this space
Yeah.
and begin that process of making that your instinctive, natural first response to money.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I can still feel it, like.
I love that. I love that. One thing I would also invite you to do is, write these mantras where you'll see them on the regular. And then as you're doing, mundane things, whether it's pulling weeds, washing dishes, folding laundry, come back to these mantras and practice moving that emotional state into motion.
Yeah.
I love the words of Brene Brown, that the way we the way we move things through from our head to our heart is through our hands.
Yeah. I'm going to write this down. This is good.
So I'm a big believer in meditation,
Mm-hmm.
but I also believe that as we start to embody these beliefs out into the world, that's how we can anchor them into our heart. So
Mm-hmm.
just to repeat, Sherry, Brene Brown says, the way we move things from our head to our heart is through our hands. So I'm super excited for you.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. That's super helpful. And that
Yes.
being a chain breaker, I mean, that is so much my calling. That really resonates with me. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I know that you have a special place in your heart for horses.
Yes.
And so maybe it's while you're working with the horses, you know, these are mantras, and I think it's beautiful to say them out loud,
Yes.
and give them the voice. I mean, I would bet that you've given voice to all the limiting beliefs multiple
Mhm.
times in your life. So the um, let's give the truer statements more stage time.
Yes.
Let's give them the microphone, and let that rewire, rewrite, and create the flow we want.
I love the microphone image.
So somebody's asking me to repeat the mantras. Well, so these are just particular to Andrea. So some of the family patterns were, it's not okay to have more than other people. Debt equals guilt. And then, there was some stuff around, I really should fix this so that I don't pass it down to my children. And so we just did simple reframes for Andrea with her limiting beliefs. So my invitation to each of you is to do rewrites of whatever your limiting beliefs might be. And so
Mhm.
her rewrites were, having more allows me to give more. Having more opens doors. And for her specifically, it was paying for kids' college. And then as I heal these patterns, I inspire others, including my children, to do the same, to heal their relationship with money. So you guys can go back and watch the replay on Facebook or at our YouTube channel. But I think the most important thing is for you to tailor the mantras to you and wherever your blocks are, wherever the stinking thinking has been around money. So yeah, and anchor it with oils.
Oil.
Which
Perry. I just grabbed rose because it was right here.
Hey, if that's not an oil of abundance, I don't know what is. I think wild orange is the oil of abundance. But yeah, definitely as you body these beliefs into the world, anchor them with oils. Use the emotions book, essential emotions, and let me just confirm that. Wild orange. Yeah, abundance, page 175.
And then bergamot also helps me with that. It's
Mm,
feeling deserving, that you actually deserve
yeah,
them.
self-acceptance. Love
Yeah.
that.
But also acceptance of good things coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't deserve them, you're not going to accept them. So
So beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on, Andrea, and making a conversation. It's always so much richer to have it be a two-way.
thank you.
Yeah. Anything else you want to cover?
That's good. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And those sentences, I'm going to write them down where I can see them in multiple places and really work.
Good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Somebody has put in the chat, and this is a good time to mention it. Tiffany Peterson is doing her mindset makeover this week. And so you can go to that link, mymindsetmakeover.com, and you can tune in to, she's got lots of guests. She's got lots of recordings, and it's just so powerful. So go to mymindsetmakeover.com if you want to commit to and up-level your mindset. It can be around money, it can be around any number of things, but she's letting people pay what they want. And so you can name your price, super generous of her, and it's going to be great. Awesome. Thank you, Andrea. Blessings to you. Okay, Sharon is asking which emotions book I'm referring to. It's called Essential Emotions. And it's the book that Natalie and I manage. We work with Amanda Porter. She writes the oil descriptions, and then we wrote the body guide and the emotions guide. And that's what Natalie's doing right now, is she's doing a training in Brussels right before doTERRA's European Convention. And you can get this book at essentialemotions.com. And there's also an app. If some of you are in countries outside of America, there's a link at the website to access, to buy these books in other countries. So I think you just click on international. But you can also buy the app, and it'll be in your pocket all the time. So super powerful. And now we have the app in multiple languages. So, all right, let me just get caught up on some of these questions. Yes, thank you, Karina, for reminding us about Tiffany's mindset makeover. Okay. Stephanie says, I get very stressed. Okay, so we're talking about how she feels when she thinks about money. I get very stressed. I don't make a lot of money, I think. Grew up listening to my mom, very stressed about money. So I feel I want to grow my business, but not sure how to say you can make money, but I'm not yet. Okay, so it sounds like the main feeling is stress, and it sounds like mom modeled that well for you. So I just invite you, Stephanie, and go ahead and put in the chat if you're still on. What's an alternative to that belief? Instead of money is stressful, money is what? Instead of I get stressed, dealing with money or thinking about money, what's an alternative to that? And I'd love to hear your version. It's going to be a lot better than anything I come up with. So go ahead and put that in the chat, and then I'll give you a few minutes while I read the other comments. Jennifer says, asking for money for any reason has always been hard for me. I'm working through it, looking back at how my parents dealt with money, paycheck to paycheck. Then later in my teens, they held that grudge of people with money were pompous and better than. Okay, so same invitation for you, Jennifer. Go ahead and rewrite in the comments, asking for money is hard. What's an alternative to that? And I'll throw some out as they come to my mind. So instead of asking for money is hard, I give massive value and I receive massive value in return. I am a producer, and as I create value, value flows back to me. So I love those affirmations, I guess we could call them, because they're not they're easier to believe than some. I see a lot of people with posters like, I am abundance, money flows to me and easily and freely, or, just there's a lot of fluff out there that is hard for me to believe. Whereas if the statement is, as I create massive value, I receive massive value. I am a producer. As I pour into others, money pours back into me. Because it's a two-way street, right? It's not just this, I'm trying to believe that I'm a millionaire when there's zero evidence. Instead, it's like, no, I'm a producer, and money comes back naturally as I produce. So those are just a couple of first drafts. People with money are pompous and better than. Oh, this is a big one for me. I had very similar beliefs around wealthy people. So what's a rewrite of that? What's an alternate belief that we could hold? producers create and receive massive value. I would just come back to that same one. And I'd make it more about the value they're creating and the value they're receiving. Don't make it about their attitude. There's pride from above, but there's also pride from below in certain people. And so I wouldn't make it about the money. Money is neutral. The crazy thing about money is it doesn't care who has it. Money is like the river, right? It just flows. And it doesn't care if it flows into your yard or into your basement or into the stream. It just flows. And money's the same way. And so if we create a path for money to flow by our value creation, then it flows naturally and quite neutrally. So let's not judge the people. And that could be another mantra or affirmation that you make. Money is neutral. You know, just to start to neutralize those feelings that you have around money. Okay. Great questions. Just looking to see if oh yeah, coming back to the debt thing. Debt is just blessings you've already received. Yeah, I would just keep the focus in, because I'm a massive producer, value flows in every direction, whether it's value that I've received in the past. You know, as I produce, money flows into my future and my past, are possible beliefs there. Okay. All right, Joan says, come to Houston and do a live essential emotions training. Love that. Okay, Jennifer has her rewrite here. As I have money, I am able to give and pour into others. Love that. Yeah, that's great. And maybe I'm trying to think of a way that it's not conditional. So it's not like, if I had money, you know what I mean? Like, how could we write that? Because I'm a producer, I am able to give and pour into others. And so don't make it, you know, don't give yourself a back door. It's like, just own that you're a producer, own that you're in that flow, and it's flowing to others and back to you. All right, Sherry says, money can open pathways for me to express myself and present myself in lovely ways. Oh, I love that. I love that. I met somebody early in my doTERRA journey who apparently they had come from a lot of money, but they were currently in like bankruptcy, and they said, I'm literally the poorest rich person you'll ever meet. And she would, multiple times I heard her telling the story, we literally have $0. I look at my bank account and we have $0. And I was just like, oh my gosh, please be careful of what you're declaring, because you just declared that I'm poor and you declared that I have $0. And that is just not healthy soil to grow your garden. So, but that reminded me of that. And so maybe some of you, you love beautiful clothes, or maybe you love beautiful travel or beautiful places. And so maybe the belief is, because I'm a massive producer, the value that flows back to me allows me to live the beautiful life that I love, right? And so just claiming that the beautiful clothes, or you know, just maybe it's hairdos or getting your nails, I don't know, whatever that opens up for you, having that be part of your visualization and declaration. I love that. Sherry, hello, friend.
Hi there. How are you? This is such a great class today. I mean, I really love this topic, and I have to just share kind of something hilarious that happened in my world in regards to this. You know, I have a large family, And you know, that brings its own challenges with money. Like there seems like there's just never enough, even though you're working. And you know, 2 incomes sometimes can still not be enough. 3 incomes can be challenging. Anyway, one of my daughters grew up to be an attorney, and while she was in law school, just lived on nothing. I mean, literally nothing, and shopped in my closet a lot. My favorite thing was when she and another one of my daughters were down at UVU for a while. They literally came to my house and took silverware out of my silverware drawer. And I was like, all right, guys, that was really classy. Anyway, I have to say, she goes, after we started, you know, I was a midwife for many years and things were it was helpful for our income. But then when I started doing doTERRA and becoming, you know, successful at doTERRA, it was really nice. And Caitlin goes, Mom, since you've been making more money, your style has gone up. You know, here she is shopping in my closet, taking my clothes so she can have something to wear to school, which I did. I loved. I was fine. But you guys, I have to say, I'm a DI shopper. I love DI so much. And those who are not in the Utah area, that's a thrift store. Okay.
That's like
And
Savers.
I am going like Savers or Goodwill. You know,
Goodwill.
it's my favorite thing to do, to go to something and give it new life and give it like give it worth again, right? And I think that that's just relevant with this conversation, that all of us are kind of these pieces that get to be reworked and that reinvented and, you know, add a new hat to or whatever. And it was not true when she said that my style had changed. It was just true that her perception of my style had changed. I was still shopping at DI. And I just, you know, and we still have DI couches.
I
It's
love
not,
it.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. I'll let you go with that.
I
But I just
love
had to say
that.
it. I had to say it. Okay.
It's so great. I also love um, this idea, like when you're hungry and you go to the fridge, but you can't find anything, and so you wait a while, and you come back to the fridge, and eventually, you know, before you know, if you wait long enough, you're gonna find something you'll eat. And it sounds like there might be a similar thing going on with your daughter. She got hungry enough that she found something in your closet that she liked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And now, you know what? And now she's successful now and she's doing all the things on her own, and it's just awesome. And I'm so proud of her, but she loves DI. Because
Oh, that's
don't you
great.
worry, I had that conversation with her. I was like, sweetheart, Mama's still shopping at DI. You know, the
Mm,
T-shirt I have on today is from DI because DI is the best place for T-shirts. But
it's
I just
great.
really feel like there's just something to this, the perception and just the way that we frame ourselves in that conversation. So I just love this conversation today.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for hopping on and sharing, Sherry. It's so good to see you again. Oh, this is great. I love I love her share. I also love this comment that Vicky posted on Facebook on our live. The more I accept the love and pureness of money coming into my life with ease, the more alive I feel in my body, allowing more freedom and opportunity to help others without hesitation. So great. I love that, Vicky. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, I just want to invite each of us to take on our relationship with money. Maybe it's been driving you for a long time, and I just invite you to take back the wheel and be the driver of your relationship with money. Don't judge the journey. Don't judge if your parents gave you certain beliefs. Don't judge them. Just choose gratitude. Say thank you so much. I'll bet that your beliefs were the perfect, you know, mechanism that you felt you needed, and so I honor that. I honor you. Anyone who's had any influence, choose gratitude and just send love to them and to their beliefs, and then start taking control, take the driver's wheel, and choose the beliefs that you want. And I know that as you do so, money will come to take on a new meaning. As you anchor these beliefs, as you use oils to anchor these beliefs, and as you move these beliefs from your head to your heart through your hands, things will change. So if you change the way you see the world you see starts to change. So Jacqueline, I think the quote was, because I'm a producer, I create massive value, and massive value flows back to me. So I am an excellent giver. I'm an excellent receiver. So I think we focus too much maybe on the giving part and not the receiving. But receivership is the energy that we're talking about. That is the energy of abundance. So thank you all so much for joining today, and thank you for choosing to weed your garden, for choosing to being intentional and to being in the driver's seat of your life. So grateful for each of you, and sending lots of love and blessings. Take care.